Hey guys, it's I'm in a W chair and Cubone Studios here, and it's game time again. But Cubone Studios is in my kitchen getting pizza rolls. See, there he is. All right. So
I'll be back. I'll be right back.
tonight's topic, I should say, is what makes a game like this game, which I will talk about briefly, um, great in our opinions. Me and Donovan may disagree on certain things, but we may not. We will see. But we're gonna just talk more about gameplay and graphics. We're gonna talk about, at least on my side, music, mechanics, ideas in the game, like what makes a game unique and stand out from the rest. This game is a perfect example, and this game is called Breakdown for the original Xbox. Not to be confused with the Xbox One. Ugh, it's so weird.
The what?
The Xbox One.
The first one that was made?
Well, this is the first one that was made, but Microsoft is dumb and made the Xbox One, and not the Xbox 3 or 720, but whatever. So this game is called Breakdown, right? It's a first-person shooter, sort of. You start out with a gun, and then you develop powers and become a superhuman with all these crazy powers, and beat up other super soldiers with powers, and it's awesome. It's very, very underrated because a lot of people don't know about it. But anyway, I bought this today because I lost it, and you can get it for like $7 to $5 if you can find it. I got it at VStock at the mall. I recommend you get this if you at least have a 360. You can play it. So good luck with that. Anyway, on to the topic. What makes a game great? Well, there's a lot. There's a lot of things that go into making games. Obviously nowadays there's a lot more things that go into making a game, like
Bad animation,
bad
bad
in,
graphics, bad game mechanics.
we're talking about one next thing good.
Yeah, bad game mechanics and crappy dialogue and a horrible story that doesn't really pan out.
We're not talking about Call of Duty.
Oh yeah,
No,
that's
we're
right.
talking about good games.
Well, I didn't get to that yet. But yeah, basically everything that he said, the opposite. So voice acting, you gotta get good voice actors to make your story interesting and make the player, which is you, the gamer, interested in the story. Now, games that I feel, let's just start with that, voice acting. Games that I feel that have good voice acting are, I would say, games like Bioshock Infinite. Amazing voice acting. Voice actors like Troy Baker, and shoot, I don't remember her name. I think it's Catherine something. But anyway, she does the voice of Elizabeth in Bioshock, and they did amazing. They even showed a clip where they made her cry on purpose. And it sounds bad, but she had actually asked them to do this and got her to the point where she actually cried and was actually feeling the right emotion for that part of the game. And I thought it was very interesting because not a lot of actors can go through some of that stuff, and I commend her completely. And you did not scare me. But anyway, voice acting is very important. If you have bland, boring characters that are like, oh, crap, that guy died. I feel bad now.
Quickly.
We must go to the objective. We must
Away.
save the planet from ultimate destruction.
I've been shot.
It's like if you have games like that, it's not going to be very immersive and very fun. A good example again would be Halo. In general, I feel like Halo, especially over the years, has gotten a lot better with the voice actors and the voice acting and the dialogue. Halo 4's dialogue was a lot stronger, but I feel like sometimes Master Chief shouldn't have talked. It just felt a little weird. But, I mean, anyway. So, there's voice acting, right? You gotta get the right actors. You gotta get the right people that can fit that character and have the right characteristics for that role, that personality, or whatever. Batman Arkham Origins, Batman Arkham Asylum, all those games, they have great voice actors. And especially since most of them are from the animated series, Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, which will always be the best Joker in my opinion, besides Heath Ledger. And Kevin Conroy, you know, he's always gonna be the best Batman to me. He's got the best Batman voice. Christian Bale's is kind of annoying.
I'm back, everyone.
So he's back. So Donovan, what would you say makes a great game other than voice acting?
Well then,
Like,
there's a lot of things that I consider to be a great game that I've taken. First and foremost is what genre is it in?
that is true. That is true.
If it's a shooter, it has to be different from most. If it's
Oh,
a racing
yeah.
game, if it's a racing game, it has to be different from normal racing games. Can't just have like, ooh, look, a Lamborghini.
Okay, so that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Shooters.
I am not done.
Okay, you're not done. I'll build off of what you say though. This
Now-
is gonna be a long video, by the way, because I feel like we need to just address all these things.
Oh yeah.
So we'll just make it a long video and go with it.
Okay, now back to what I was saying. What also makes a good game has to be a decent story. It doesn't have to be mind blowing, but it has to at least keep me interested in playing.
It has to make sense
The
though
game.
too. And you know,
and as well as not as confusing.
I just want to say that I feel like most storylines today, especially for shooters, are predictable. Like,
Okay,
I'm
we
tired.
we don't need to go into details of how predictable some of these are.
Well, yeah, I'm not.
Warfighter.
Which one? Oh,
Warfighter.
Warfighter. I wasn't even gonna bring that game up, but that's funny that you brought that up because that's one of your favorite games, actually.
It is. Now, another thing, that has to have it is a creative multiplayer. It has to be.
Yeah, otherwise people aren't gonna play.
I mean, otherwise, why would you have a multiplayer if it's just bleh? If it's just bleh.
Brinks was horrible. And Batman Arkham Origins was the same people that made Brink, but it's not as bad. It's just a lot of people don't play it, and it's like upsetting.
It is very.
But
Back to what I was saying. Another important thing that goes into a great game, controls that are not
I'm just kidding.
confusing.
Complicated.
I don't want controls that are like,
Like,
oh, how do I grab this? How do I shoot? What does this button do?
yeah, really, all you really have to do is go by the basic formula. Like A is jump, right? That's
Mhm.
muscle memory. X is usually reload or the bumper.
We're going by Xbox buttons here,
Right.
Just to be sure.
So I mean, it's even for the same,
Think-
pretty much for the PlayStation.
It's the same placement though for like
most
PlayStation controllers.
most controllers and all that stuff. So make it simple, you know, not like too complex. But the other thing I want games to get rid of, and at least make it an option, at least for those that are still dumb. I'm sorry, but I had to say it. For the pop-up tutorials, I hate them. I don't like them. I get when you're trying, like, teach me through gameplay. Like, okay, shoot. All right, I pretty much know that one of the triggers is shoot already for shooters. I don't need a step-by-step tutorial to tell me how to play a basic shooter. Now, if it's a more complex shooter, like Breakdown, where you have to learn more combos with your fighting skills, then yeah, teach me that, because I don't know what that is. But you don't need to do it step by step, like, hey, this is reload. Hey, jump over here. hey, do this. It's like, no, I'm not a 5-year-old. I feel like these tutorials need to be obsolete or very minimal at the least. I'm trying to think of a game that doesn't do that, but games nowadays, they just need to not do that. So to me, another thing that makes a great game is not treating the player like an idiot. Because most gamers out there, from what I know, are pretty smart and have done this long enough to know the basics of every genre, unless you don't really play other genres. I play a little bit of everything. Mostly play shooters and action and adventure games and all that kind of stuff. So, but moving on to the next thing that I think makes a great game, is the story. Story is one of the biggest things that grabs me. Donovan touched on it a little bit, but I'm going to touch on it a little bit more.
Just don't make it boring, and I'll like it.
Yeah, I mean, really, all you need to do is story. I like twists. I like really good plot twists. Bioshock 1 had one of the most brilliant plot twists. I did not see it coming. It's the "would you kindly," mind control phrase. You find out that really the entire time you're playing the game,
It's all a lie.
you're being controlled, and there's a part in the game where you can't do anything. You can't not kill Andrew Ryan. You have to go through with it, and it's like, man, I'm not in control here, and it was just so great. And the flashbacks with all the "would you kindly" phrases, like "would you kindly do this," "would you kindly do that," that was great, and that was part of what made Bioshock story and plots was so good. Because you just couldn't control yourself, you didn't see it coming, you were vulnerable. And again,
I don't have much to say, so it's all you now.
games today are more like turning into somewhat more cinematic. So the
A bit too cinematic if you're Metal Gear Solid.
like 5-hour cutscenes. But you had to have a fine balance between cutscenes and gameplay. You can't just have it just be cinematic the entire time. Excuse me. But anyway, story again is one of the biggest things. You just gotta make it entertaining. Really, my advice to you guys, if anybody wants to, become a video game designer or even write stories,
Like us.
come up with, yeah, I do want to be a writer for video games. Come up with something original as possible. Come up with something new and innovative and something that nobody's ever done before. And don't be scared to do that. Don't be like Call of Duty. I'm even going to say this. Don't even be like Halo. Don't be like the typical shooters. Like, if you want to make a great shooter or even another genre and make it your own, make it something different. Like Titanfall. Titanfall is new because, well, we've never had giant mechs with infantry before, and we never had like all this crazy stuff going on with all this like other stuff that's supposed to be happening in the game. I don't know much about it, so I can't really tell you how different it is, but I will let you know when I get the game. But anyway,
Oh, I want to mention something.
yes.
If you're going to design like a new game and you're going to try to be as creative as possible, at the same time, do not be afraid to borrow some ideas.
Yes, because otherwise you'll just sit there like, oh, but that's already been done before. I think the hardest thing is probably coming up with character names or enemy names and stuff like that.
Bill, Mark,
So,
Stacy.
well, that's
lol.
that's kind of just too generic. So I went over story, voice acting, Mechanics.
But pizza rolls.
Mechanics are important. If you have really bad game mechanics, people are going to hate you. I guess an example of a bad mechanic would be some of the earlier Assassin's Creed games. Like their way of, the way the movement was and the way the camera was sometimes, like the camera mechanic, it would like make you, just walk off a wall and just kill yourself. It was just horrible. And it just didn't make sense. But they got better and they refined it and everything else. But other than that, you just gotta make sure you have good mechanics. And again, just don't be afraid to think outside the box when thinking about this stuff. Other thing, gameplay. Gameplay obviously is essential because you're playing a game and you don't want it to be stale. You don't want people to feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again, just shooting mindless things or just doing things. Try to come up with, unique weapons and just stuff to make the game more interesting. Introduce things along the way. Do not try to give everybody every weapon at once or anything at once because people will hate you. Well, I will because it's boring. It's like, oh, I have every weapon in the game, but I don't want to use them all because not all of them work. That is a great example. I thought about this. BioShock Infinite is a great game, but in the game, not every weapon works very well. It's not effective against every enemy. Like, I only used the shotgun, sniper rifle, hand cannon, and machine gun. Everything else I threw out the window. From the RPG, from the heater, from all these other guns, the pistol, and everything else, out the window because you basically couldn't use it against anybody. It was ineffective, and it just didn't work. So whenever you design these weapons, you want to make sure that they work and that every weapon, specifically for me, make some weapons cater to taking out certain enemies, so you can switch it up a bit, or just try to just mix it up. That's all you gotta do. And let's see. Again, let's see. We went over that. We went over multiplayer. Have a good multiplayer. I got
Iconic music.
yes, the music. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. Though, I have to say this just because everybody does, but I say it because we're in the day and age where it should be expected. Good graphics, and I'm not talking about the best graphics in the world, but it's like you get a new car. Do you want to drive around in a car that looks like crap? I don't think so. You get what you pay for. So I'm speaking to next gen consoles now. I'm not even speaking to 360 anymore. And this is why I was upset with Call of Duty Ghosts, because I was expecting it to look better, but I'm not gonna get into all that because I've already beat that dead horse. But yeah, just try to make the game look good.
Or visually unique.
Yeah, as best you can. Like, for those that are getting into game design and wanting to be these designers, because if it doesn't look appealing, then why would people play? I mean, yeah.
It'd be like The Walking Dead.
I mean, that game's not like. That's another good example. Like that game does not have a lot of game play technically. It's got a lot of survival stuff. It's got based on choices, based on story, based on voice acting, and the characters. That again, if you have a really strong base in any one of these, then odds are people are gonna like the game regardless.
Or if it's just part of a popular series already.
True, but survive like what was it? Walking Dead.
We're not going into that mess.
Oh, okay. Survival Instinct. So what
We're not starting with that abomination.
Abomination. But anyway, I liked Bioshock Infinite mainly for like the gameplay was good, and then it kind of got stale. But I really enjoyed the story, and that's what kept me going. Same for Halo. Halo, I felt like had a good story until the end. But anyway, yeah. I mean, just make sure that you nail these on the head. The gameplay, music, which I will talk about right now. And that'll probably be our last topic. Unless I have anything else to add. Music. A good example for good music, iconically, would be the Halo soundtrack.
No, come on.
What?
Quit mentioning Halo on everything.
What? It has good music. I mean, I can.
I would have at least said the Mario franchise because the music's probably more popular than the game itself.
Okay, but I don't play Mario, dude. Okay. Anyway,
Not everyone plays Halo.
I was going to get into more games, but I'm just saying, Halo has good music. What else? Has good music.
Besides from Mario, because I already mentioned it.
Batman has good music.
The Arkham games, yes.
They have really good music. Tomb Raider had some good music. And
Uncharted?
I never played Uncharted.
I heard it had good music.
I wouldn't know. Assassin's Creed has good music.
Mm-hmm.
Really good music.
Gears of War.
Gears of War has good music. See, there's other games. See, you thought I was just going to say about Halo.
The Telltale's Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Well, I was complaining because you started out with Halo.
Well, come on. I mean, who can forget? Da, 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 da. Like, that's the, I'm getting ready to blow crap up music. Like, stuff's going down. Or, dun 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 dun. That's good.
God of War.
But I mean, yeah, if you have really good music for like these very climactic scenes, then you're good to go. You just have to make sure that you make the player feel like something's gonna go down. You really have to make them feel like they're like just the ultimate BA. Like seriously. And sometimes you gotta make them feel like they're weak.
And sometimes, the music doesn't even have to be epic.
Right.
It could be stuff like Portal, Still Alive.
True. Yeah, Portal has an interesting soundtrack.
It's an interesting game in general.
It's a very smart game. But yeah. But I think 25 minutes about is good. Sorry if it feels kind of dried.
Yeah, I mean, this is like our first time doing this in weeks. Deal with it.
Yeah, and I promise I'll put better videos up. I've just been dealing with stuff in my life, trying to figure things out.
And I have high school.
And I have life to figure out, so.
And I'm busy working on my own stories.
I'm not. I'm lazy. That's my problem. So, sorry that I've been kind of a bum. I'm just getting back into music. I'm going to do Halo Wednesdays. I'm going to do Battlefield 4 Fridays finally. Because they finally fixed it enough to where I won't, be frustrated. I still have to get a bunch of stuff off my Xbox One, so there'll be more videos, and I'll upload most of those as soon as this video is uploaded. So, alright. Peace out, guys. You know, if you're getting into game design, just make sure gameplay, about like graphics, music,
Genre.
genre. You know, don't make the people feel like they're idiots when they're playing the game. Don't bombard them with tutorials.
Don't make them feel like they're playing the same game that they played before.
Good story. Be unique. Bring something new to the table. If you're gonna make a franchise, add something new to it every time. Like, seriously, don't rehash the same thing. If it works, then you can do that. But like, oh, one last thing: regen health. That is not needed in every game. So, I leave you with that. Peace out. Have a God bless day. And I will see you guys later. This is I'm in a Wheelchair with Cubone Studios.
Get on. Get on.